Blessed risings, good afternoon or good evening, depending on where in the world you're tapping in from. You got to keep in mind that KPP Podcast is a global show. And today, on this episode of Those Model Citizens, we will be discussing baby-faced Tren de Aragua crew at NYC shelter, migrant shelter, targets Times Square, and they're getting away with it. Listen, I started not even try the name. I was lazy with pronouncing the name because I don't care about what the name is. Them illegal aliens is over there going crazy on Times Square, and they ain't doing nothing about it. In fact, they gave them the money to go nuts over there with. Plus, they came here with thousands and thousands of dollars in their pocket already. All while they telling you, help, me is brokes, me knows has no monies. Could you help me, please? I'm not knocking no one who needs help. That's not what I'm mocking. I'm not doing that. That's not why I'm doing it the way that I'm doing it. That's not the point of that. That's not that at all. That's not the reason for that. I'm saying the way that they be coming over here but be bluffing though. They don't need the help. They already got tall bread and they're fleeing where they're at because they've taken advantage. I'm not saying everyone. There are some that take the proper channels and they do it the right way, and they really needed some help. But there's a nice majority of them that, hey, I done pulled the sting, I done did some corruption, I done pulled the fraud, and now I'm taking my proceeds because I can't stay here because they're going to kill me. And so I have to take my whole family with me. And those that don't want to come, they are going to have to stay here and fend for themselves, and every man for themselves. So when y'all sit here and they got so much community and love for each other, the black folk need to get more communities. What is you talking about? They vote for laws to block the border so that the homies can't come over, so that the cousins can't come over, so that uncle can't come over. They don't want Uncle Felix coming. No, Uncle Felix, you and Aunt Jessica, you stay. No, you know, act right. When you get some tequila, you get to tripping. So I cannot have you come over here. You ruin it for me. You Uncle Felix and Auntie Jessica, right? So don't even try to play me about that unity factor. And look in the title, right? The baby-faced, the lionization, the glorification. Even when I found the article, it comes in young and vicious, baby-faced, trendy Aragua crew, and they're a crew. Not criminals. They sound like they're Ocean's 11, right? Right? That was a crew, right? They sound like Babyface Nelson and Gotti, and it's romanticized even. It's just the what's that? Robin Hood and the Merry Man. It's just Peter Pan in the right. Look, now they're the brutal crew of Babyface. Now they're face trendy Aragua migrant gangbangers at a city funded. See, now they wanted to save that so that they could go right into the mouthful of democratic. That's what they're really saying. When gangbangers at a city-funded Manhattan shelter. No, they really want to say at a democratic shelter are pulling off armed robberies at Times Square, and they're getting away with it. How, if you know where they're at? If you know where they live at, you don't have no cameras out there? You know how the ones that you can come set up in the hood, the big mobile ones that got the long neck with the lights on the top with the cameras? You mean to tell me you don't have none of that? You mean to tell me you can't get none of that? You could give vouchers for Walmart? You mean to tell me you could give $7,000 in EBT? You mean to tell me that you can give La Quinta? And I gotta say, stop saying La Quinta because you're putting them up in 5 stars. It's 5 stars or nothing. I want to go to Saks Fifth Ave. You put me in the Four Seasons. Why do you not treat me right? You not treat me like a citizen. Because you're not. How about that one? That might be something. I'm all for charity. I'm not saying that. I'm saying most are pulling your leg. They are not hungry. They have full bellies. Do you see them? Do they look skinny and starved to you? Do they look like they're starving? They don't look like they're starving to me. They look very full. They look like they have full bellies. But when I see them, when I see Americans out homeless, they look skinny, fam. They look malnourished, right? Only they're on drugs and the migrants and the illegal aliens. None of them is on drugs. They're all great citizens, and the best and the brightest are fleeing their countries to come over here to risk life and limb to go underneath the barbed wires, to go throw their babies over the barbed wire fences 30, 40 feet in the air, the treacherous weather and terrain, the lack of food and water, no aguas. You're willing to go through all that because you're an outstanding citizen in your country. And instead of going through the proper channels, you know, like being a draft pick, right? Like the United States wouldn't want to have you come over, right? If you was all that in a bag of chips, right? If you're this outstanding citizen and you fill out the paperwork and they see it and yo, I'm being persecuted where I'm coming from, and I was just trying to live my life and they won't let me, and this is what I bring to the table, you're telling me no? No, they would bring you right in. But why are you doing it the back doorway? If you're such a great citizen where you're at, right? Hello, McFlizzle, not trying to tell you what to think, trying to show you how to think. That's why we break down the articles the way that we do here on the Keep It P podcast, where we take news situations and everyday occurrences and we show how one could or cannot be keeping it P. And I am your host, TZ Von Savage, in the place to be. Why? Why do you have to do a sneak peek to get in here if you're so great and productive in your country? Nearly 24 young migrant thugs. Here goes the language. What took you so long? Oh, I forgot. It's politics. I got to make sure I let y'all know it's the Democrats' fault for all of this. Instead of just getting down to the nitty gritty, right? And if y'all was doing such a great job, how'd the Democrats get in there anyways then? So y'all could have been protecting the borders, right? Why you didn't get all your other policies in order so that you could make sure that if this was so important, that y'all could have made sure you got in there so that you could keep this from happening, right? You did have a chance to build this wall you was talking about, right? Oh, okay. Bluffing. They're both bluffing. 2 wings, same bird. Let's be absolutely clear. Nearly 24 young migrant thugs, some as young as 11 years old, are part of a dangerous asylum-seeking brat pack that has graduated from purse snatchings to gunpoint heists targeting New Yorkers and tourists alike, a top NYPD official said. Right, oh, I'm not shocked. What you gonna do about it? Or are you gonna make it political and, well, if we was in there, we could, you gotta blame the Democrats. So that's it. That's just the end. Okay. Live with it. It's the Democrats' fault. But we ain't gonna do nothing to fix it though. We just gonna sit back and watch while y'all get busted in your head, while American citizens get accosted, robbed, targeted, and we're not gonna do nothing because you're not part of our gang. See, we're not gonna go penalize the migrant gangbangers, the migrant thugs, because we have our own brat pack of our own. And if you're not part of that, then we're not doing nothing. So much for United States, right? But they're managing to stay out of jail because their ages. Why you don't send them back? And since when do you get to stay out of jail if you got guns? If you're robbing, I didn't know you get to stay out of jail if you're an American citizen and you're 11 and you rob gunpoint. I didn't know you just get to stay out. I didn't know nothing happened to you. Somebody put in the comments, right? That's what happens if you're 11 years old and you get caught as an American citizen, an 11-year-old, you got a gun, you rob somebody gunpoint. And give me the two different versions, you know, if you're the black 11-year-old and then if you're the white 11-year-old, right? Because that's almost what these migrants is, right? Huh? I know black. Oh, we had that in common. No, I know black either. I like you. I like you, white boy. I like you. I like you, Zaddy. I like you. White is right. It continues. You have individuals that are brazen, Savino said. We know that they have access to guns, evident by the fact that they've done gunpoint robberies and they've been brazen enough to showcase pistols in around their social media. Okay, what you gonna do about it? So they show the gun on the social media. They show that they're in the asylum migrant hotel, and you don't do nothing. The law don't allow you to go get a non-citizen flashing firearms. That's not a terrorist. That's not terrorism. I don't know. What I just, if you come here terrorizing the citizens of another country, you're not a terrorist. So you only have to have explosives or bombs that or missiles, rocket launchers, grenades, and if you don't have that, then you can't possibly be a terrorist. Is that what we're saying? This is the first formulated group that we found where this group of about 20 individuals that in pack form hang out every day. They post on social media. They boast about their crew. The chief said, you see little pockets in and around Times Square and in around the shelters. So you know where it's at and you don't do nothing? But as far as a true threshold, it's been limited to shelters. Right. I just said that. So they're taking over the shelters. They're flashing their winnings. They're not even winnings. Their loot, their heists, their takings, their thefts. They're showing you the weapon that was used. That's evidence. So you have evidence of what they've taken. You've seen the firearms. They shouldn't have firearms at 11. Where are they getting them from? Where are they getting the money from? Are they coming here with them? How come you don't pat them down? Now, our kids got to go through a metal detector at school, right? But the migrants don't have to do no metal detection at said shelters. No security for these non-citizens that are on our lands that are possible terrorists? Okay. It continues, calling himself Los Diablos de la 42. So this is another gang? Because this ain't the other gang that you said in the title. This ain't the Tren de Aragua crew. This ain't them. The babyface assassins, that ain't them. This another gang. The Los Diablos de la 42, Spanish for Little Devils of 42nd Street. The crew of about 20, the crew, still the crew, then goes to about 21 gang members, has been busted for 50 separate incidences, and yet not one is behind bars, Savino said. Wow. Look at them. Look at them. And you ain't did nothing. They committed the robberies in all the sexy places. What places are sexy? What are you talking about? These are criminals. There's victims. Do the victims think that the place is sexy now with the traumatization? Do they think so? In and around Central Park, in around Times Square, in around transit, he said, and targeting tourists. Wow, they just out there. Baby mamas is chilling, hiding the dope in the packs with the kids in the diaper bag. Then you got the little thuggish, ruggish bone out there, taco style. Look at them. Putting their bloop bloops on there. Look, all on social media. Ain't that a name up there? Young Man Hydro? Young Glow Hydro, fam? What is you talking about? Oh, you don't know where they at. But for the Asian crime spree, you knew exactly where they was. Don't you see them right there? Look. They chilling outside the Roosevelt Hotel. That's where they kicking it at, P. Huh? Look. He got posed, fam. And y'all don't know who none of these is, huh? Look at them. Look at these thugs. But you don't know where they at, huh? You said you know it's 20 of them, this much, that much, where they hang out at. You said you knew all of that, right? Wow. Look at these thugs. They kind of had a graduation of sorts and a progression where originally it started as snatches and then went to strong arm robberies, and then they started brandishing knives in a pack format. Also, worrisome for New York's finest is the possibility that an all-out gang war could erupt between TDA and one of Big Apple's most notorious gangs, the Latin Kings. So hold on. We got a Latino war? We got a Latino crime wave? Hold on. Ain't nobody talking about this uptick in crime, in stabbings and strong arm robberies? They're going around in packs like wolves. And then there's a possibility of a gang war. This isn't breaking news. No one's alarmed by this. Y'all you talking about FEMA? You talking about Colorado, Venezuela gangs? They just said there's a war, a Latino gang war. According to authorities, the dispute between the two gangs dates back several years to the alleged murder of a TDA member by a Latin king, with the feud still a sore spot. TDA, which grew out of the poverty and corruption that has long plagued Venezuela. Didn't I say Venezuela? Huh? Established a criminal foothold in the 5 boroughs in a little more than a year. Law enforcement sources said gang members hide among the millions of asylum seekers crossed the U.S. border with Mexico since 2022, then scattered throughout the country. Right. They came in, not through proper channels, not the great citizens, right? Not the productive citizens. The asylum seekers, the citizens that the country doesn't want. Members are told to get distinctive tattoos that mark them as members, with the body art typically including anchors, clocks, crowns, and phrases that include the word guerrero, which means warrior in Spanish, but also pays homage to Hector Nino Guerrero, the leader of the gang in Venezuela. The gang tats also tend to feature the number 23 or NBA stars Michael Jordan and LeBron James, both of whom wear the number on their jerseys, while others include images of Bulls. Seemingly a shout out to the Chicago Bulls basketball team, a city where TDA has flourished, sources say. So we talking about New York, and you telling me they all over Chicago. Is that what you're telling me? Chicago. Tap in. If you from Chicago, do they got TDAs all over the place, fam? Are they running around in their Chicago Bulls jerseys, fam, and tattooed with Michael Jordan and LeBron James all on their body, fam? Have you seen that in Chicago? In New York, gang members exploited the city's migrant shelter system, running robbery crews, as well as trafficking drugs, guns, and sex workers under the noses of private security guards. You think they ain't in on it too? Especially when the securities guard's name is Juan Valdez? You think Hector Rodriguez is doing something? You think he's not in on it? The Diablo's crew out of the Roosevelt Hotel is guided by an older gangbanger who recruits youngsters to pull off robberies before bringing back the loot, sometimes as part of an initiation into the gang. We're paying for the gang leader to live in the Roosevelt Hotel. So he's running New Jack City while the government is paying for his stay, paying for the whole crew's stay. So he don't even got to produce no revenue to supply the crew's needs because the government does it. The taxpayers pay to be terrorized. Wow. The group's members hang out in packs. There's their wolf packs again with the younger recruits and will be there when the kids pull off a crime, perhaps steal a chain from a passerby. Punishment for failing could mean being forced to lick the floor of a city subway, car, or worse, Savino said. Communication between crew members takes place online where they brazenly post exploits, he added. And y'all all know that. Everybody knows it's online. He said it's on social media. You know all that, but you do nothing. You're telling me you're not in on it? You say these crews have like 20 people in it, but then you be like, it's spread across the whole. They hide amongst millions of. But you just said it's only like 20. Which one is it? Which one is it? It seems like it's a larger problem than you're trying to make it, though. You just said it was going to be a gang war. Okay. It continues. They use group chat on their government-issued phones. Wow. Government-issued clothes, government-issued house, government-issued phones, government-issued scooters. Do they have government-issued firearms too? Is that what they have too? So you know that's what you're using. And the group app is titled, according to their gang, really, and they're using their government-issued phones. But you can't find them, though. So you can't tap the government-issued phones? That's what you're telling me? Wow. Recruiters also pick youngsters who are unlikely to be charged as adults to join the ranks. In August, police suspected that an 11-year-old accused subway mugger from Venezuela who was living at the Roosevelt was tied to TDA. Once in custody, the boy was given a juvenile card and released. In addition to the young age of some of the gang members, the state's criminal justice reforms prohibited bail for misdemeanors and most felonies, which means TDA suspects are often released, according to some in law enforcement. It's a product of bail reform, Savino told the Post. We tried to try some in criminal court, somewhat unsuccessfully. Right. So you can't do no racketeering on them. Not on the adults, nothing, huh? Okay. All right. What did we learn here today, boys and girls? They're all in cahoots. The government's in cahoots. They just told you. I didn't say it. It's in this article. Go read it for yourself. There's a lot in here. They just told you. They're in cahoots, fam. They know where everybody's at. They know where they live. They know their ages. They know how many of them it is. They know they use social media. They know they use their government issue phones, and yet they won't act. But I ain't gonna hold you. I'm just gonna mold you, fold you, and scold you about being off code. Gonna leave you with 4 words as we always do around this time. Subscribe for the vibe, like for the spike, and comment your vomit, and share if you care, if you dare to get Black empowerment everywhere. We are on all the platforms: Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook. Come and take a look. You might get hooked. Don't get shook by the fake Keep It P podcasts that are out there. Man, it's so crazy. Y'all do something wrong. You sell a little tree, you going underneath the jail. It could be recreational in your state. You got over the amount. You're going down. I'm putting my foot on your neck. You might get killed. You might get shot in the head. You might get popped in the back. You could be naked, and I thought you had a gun, and I was afraid. But these Venezuela gangbangers, these immigrant, illegal aliens, thugs, they can come over and pillage the village and ravish your community, and the government will do nothing. And don't forget, the government is supplying their every need so they can pull off New Jack cities across America. Love, peace, blessings, and maloha. I gotta go high for sure high. You already know her. Big brother, light bright, supreme, oh my T. Signing off.